Hello, everyone. This is Rhonda Mays, Executive Director of the Fair Housing Council of the Capital Region. And today we are very pleased to have joining us for our housing discussion, Mr. Tone Cook,
Yes.
who is a community activist and candidate for Harrisburg mayor. And also joining us today is our co-host, Mr. Edward Glover, who is also a well-known educator within the housing field and our homebuyer education facilitator. So thank you very much for joining us today, Mr. Cook. Looking forward to having a very spirited and interesting conversation with you, focused on housing in Harrisburg.
Yes, thanks for having me.
You're welcome, and thank you for coming. Edward, did you want to begin?
Sure. So just wanted to start off, just kind of keep it like how you been with everything at your candidacy and everything you're running.
I've been strong.
Okay.
you know how politics are a little messy. So I've been able to stand through the storm, and just I'm here today breathing. So I've been blessed.
Okay.
So I think it's going well.
All right. Well, thank you. So one of the questions that we have here, how will you improve housing situations in the city to make it better?
As far as I don't know which angle that you know.
Whichever angle that you observe or that you think or that you've done research on, any situations to kind of make housing better.
I got you.
Whether it be to protect a certain pocket from gentrification or whatever way that you think that Harrisburg needs.
So I believe that in our communities, the communities I'm always about throughout the city of Harrisburg, there's a major problem with lighting, and a lot of different locations inside of the city of Harrisburg. If we were to go out, I can take you to, just leaving out of this building, I could take you to at least 5 to 10 different places within walking distance. So I believe that the lighting is a major problem inside of our communities, and with the lighting brings safety and people feeling comfortable and feeling even more upbeat. So I believe that the lighting is a problem. If we can, try to adjust some of that, that's a major start with, and we don't want to go off topic, but that's a major start with adding to the safety inside of our city and bringing the attraction.
Okay.
So I wanted to ask about affordability. One of the main reasons that I wanted to have this discussion with the mayoral candidates is because affordable housing is one of the main topics of discussion, especially during the debates. And during the debates, you have a very, very limited amount of time to formulate an answer.
Yes.
There's very little details about your ideas and your vision. So I wanted to ask you, what do you consider to be affordable housing within the community, and what are your ideas about including more affordable housing in the community?
Again, which I always have highlighted, is broadening the tax base by attracting new businesses and residents by increasing revenue through growth rather than higher rates. We can alleviate the burden on current homeowners and investors. So bringing, like I said, go back to the very first thing I said before. It's about bringing the attraction and making it more, how do you want to call it? Beautifying, makes it more attractive to the people. So I believe that that's a part of it.
Right. Oh, okay. So you're looking at neighborhoods, making neighborhoods attractive, making the city attractive.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So that's a very good point that I don't think that anyone has, brought into the conversation that much before, because I always say, and people who have looked at the other interviews will know that I come out with the definition of affordability, which is the federal definition is 30% of a person's gross monthly income.
All right.
So one of the issues that we find ourselves in, not just in the city but throughout the nation, is since COVID, housing prices have really risen starkly. And so a home that was affordable for many years is no longer affordable. So I don't know if you've thought about any kind of methodologies for ensuring that residents have access to safe, secure, affordable, stable, dignified housing within the city of Harrisburg.
No, there's always more that I can learn from this situation here. Like some areas I am not that knowledgeable on, but I can still lean on to brothers like you. As she mentioned in the beginning, this is something that you're very much knowledgeable on, and that's one thing that I really honestly know that I bring different to the table. If there's something that I don't really know about, I'm not going to sit here and go into details and act like I do. So I will reach out to those knowledgeable, even if it includes yourself, and figure out a way together that we can work this thing out together, because it's not just about your opinion. And I mention this all the time, and I will continue to do so. It's not just about what you think or what he may think, but what we all can think together that's going to be better for the people, and what we can do overall, and we can do it now. Sometimes people will not always agree. They will not always agree, and will have kickback like we spoke of earlier. Excuse me. We will have kickback, but at the end of the day, everybody cannot be pleased. So what I do feel as though is, as long as we're making the best decision overall, then that's just what we'll have to do.
Okay. So more kind of like either reaching out or putting those people that have the knowledge in the right places
the right places, so we can discuss and figure out together how can we figure this out together and make this better for not only this neighborhood but overall. You know, if we can bring our knowledge together and we sit down and figure it out. You might have the keys, but I have a key as well. So we bring it all together, we can make it work. So I don't have a problem with bringing the right people together to discuss some issues that I'm not very much knowledgeable on, but even with my input, we can make things a little better.
Okay. I like that. Okay, so one of the things that we were discussing was the rise of costs and the cost of housing. So one topic that we were talking about was from 2020 till now, the cost of the rise of houses has went up about 18% or so. Let's say in 2020 you could probably buy a row home for anywhere from 45 to 65,000. Maybe it needs a little work. Those same houses are now going for about 120,000. Is there any way, and there's such a migration since COVID of people coming in from out of the country, New York, and things like that. Is there anything that we can do or that the city can do to either keep the cost of living or keep the housing costs low for the residential, or just a topic or something?
We have to bring in the attraction. We have to bring more people, which creates revenue. We bring more people when there's more money even coming in. So I believe that we have to beautify our communities. If we don't do that and take the time in doing that, no one's going to want to do anything inside of our city. No one's going to want to live in our city, and no one's truly going to care about housing or even the property that they may just be damaging because they don't care about it no more. So I believe that also goes with like infrastructure, back to that again. Fixing our roadways, expanding our roadways, back to the lighting. It all goes back to infrastructure. So that's just what I believe.
Thank you.
I think another topic that has been discussed during this campaign season is participation in the rebuilding, beautifying, housing renovations and building within the city. And by participation, I mean, smaller contractors, disadvantaged contractors, minority women contractors, and making sure that as we are rebuilding and renewing our communities and our neighborhood, that we're as inclusive as we possibly can be. Do you have any ideas about inclusion and MWDBE in particular participation?
I do. I'd rather not say too much. Yeah, there's a few things that I have in mind, but I just rather not say much and speak on it. I refer back to my team.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. And that's all you're going to say on that?
Yeah, I refer back to my team. I'll leave that one alone.
Okay.
If I can't give you too much on it, and I'm not going to just go into it and give you something that I don't know and I can't speak of, so I won't do that.
Okay. All right. That's fair enough.
What new innovative ideas or would you implement to bring in new homes in the area, and maybe kind of put some of these in these vacant lots and things like that?
Honestly, I believe that if we release funds, especially up and coming business owners, entrepreneurs, if we can release funds and support them more and believe in their vision a lot more, put funding into opening up new businesses. That's some of the things that I would love to do, and I believe that that's going to bring the attraction as well, because we have a lot of, and I deal with a lot of upcoming young entrepreneurs, business owners, like our videographer. Like it's a lot of people inside of the city of Harrisburg. Not saying that keep it closed for anyone outside, but there's a lot of talent right here inside of our city. So I believe that funding them and allowing them to partake in even discussions like this, we have to bring them to the table, because like I said in the beginning, it's not just about us, it's about the people. And the people bring a lot to the table to offer. And I've been around these same very people and doing business with these same very people inside of our community. So I believe that by funding these same individuals, young entrepreneurs, up and coming entrepreneurs, that the city of Harrisburg has a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, I agree with you, absolutely. And in order to make sure that these young entrepreneurs do thrive and that they're able to grow their businesses, and we really need to be deliberate and intentional about that. Because you're right, I have seen an amazing amount of talent in this community. And almost anything that you need or would want as far as a business or to enhance your business or your community, your neighborhood, your home, it's available right here in Harrisburg. So we just need to, get them to be, foster their growth and encourage their growth. And to that end, do you have any ideas about how to support small businesses and young entrepreneurs?
Yes, absolutely. Honestly, one of the ideas I believe is some people, although the information is out there accessible for them, in some of these communities, it's hard. Some people just don't go out looking as much, but I still don't think that that's a reason for us to give up. So I believe that if we could create something even more where we bring the information to the communities at a more, not just periodically. We need to be more, like do a little bit more. If we could bring these resources and information to the communities, whereas though we know these, there's talent all over. If we could offer them more things like that, and give them the information and learn how to break it down to them, and whereas though it's understandable to them. Some people just aren't, their vocabulary isn't like others. Like myself, I can put in that category. So I believe that if we can break it down in terms where as though they understand, it'll help out even a lot more, because that's some of the things that I face as well with my organization. Like I was, I'm knowledgeable enough to get things done, but some points I just don't understand. And we lack the people to come out and truly give us the information and break it down to us whereas though we can understand. So I believe that we should offer that a lot more.
Okay. I like that. Did you have a question? Because you were responding.
No, you can go ahead. Yeah, conversation.
So you seem, and this is kind of, actually I'm glad you mentioned this. This is actually one of my topics, so I'm going to touch on this. You bring up bringing new dollars.
Yes.
What we need tourism dollars and events and attractions.
Yes.
Sounds like you kind of put some thought into this. Do you have a plan or idea or something? Because this also bringing attractions and things will also help increase population, and that goes into housing as well. What thoughts or ideas have you come to?
Absolutely. I can give you a couple examples. And I just mentioned this the other day, but I can give you a little bit more detail now. I mentioned this on the debate. I've already been in communication with all the local DJs. All the local DJs, all the, majority of the club owners. I actually just went and did something without being an elected official. And I spoke with the brother Justin Browning that owns Nocturnal on 2nd Street. So he offered the opportunity to get some of these kids off of the streets. And he said, you know what, I wanted to come to you because we had a meeting previously before that, and they know that that's what I've been trying to do for years, just trying to help out the youth. So speaking with him, I was able to get a few young guys that was in the streets, involved in the streets, young ladies and males. He contacted them, and they previously just got interviews, and that's just by having a connection. So that's one of the things that I try to bring and do is, contact other business owners and things like that. But like I said, I've been in contact with DJs, some of the best promoters that the city of Harrisburg has. And when I tell you they bring in people from all over, and I'm not just talking about the U.S. People come from different countries for some of these DJs. DJ Midnight, not to just single anybody out, but Midnight, Big Mike the Hype Man. It's many DJs, and I'm in contact with them, and I've been, not just as of now. So my relationship with them has been being built because this is something I do with myself as an example still. Throwing events myself, bringing people in from Baltimore, New York, Philadelphia, D.C. I've been doing this just to help from the community. So this is something I've been doing for a while, and this is something that I know for a fact that I can do in the city of Harrisburg. I can bring the people, and also it goes with promotion. I talk to some of the best promoters, and if I am elected to become the next mayor for the city of Harrisburg, we have everything accessible to us to use it at its max, and I will use it. And that's what's going to bring the attraction in.
Okay. Kind of coattailing on that, one thing too is that I think that we need to is building a connection with our surrounding towns.
Absolutely.
Cumberland County, York,
Stilton, Harrisburg, Middletown.
Yeah, and those smaller little towns all kind of make up the thread.
Yes.
We need some of those tourism dollars to kind of keep us sustainable as well. Yes. So I agree with you on that.
Yes. Can I say something real quick about that? Now, that's something that I've been doing, and that's something that I've been promoting throughout the whole campaign, even before the campaign. I met, actually, our videographer. When I said I worked with our videographer before, we did a cleanup in Stilton. We were doing cleanups in Stilton, Harrisburg, Middletown, Harrisburg, like through all over, and the part of it is, it's about building the relationships, not just during the election season. It's about building those relationships over time, and I've built those relationships over time, so I understand the importance of bringing outside surrounding areas together. And not to get off topic, but even when you speak about the problems that Harrisburg is facing now with the crime rate and the homicides going on, it shows that what happens in Harrisburg happens in Stilton. What happens in Stilton happens in Harrisburg because we are all connected. So I understand the importance of bringing us all together, and it's not just about Harrisburg.
Okay, awesome.
So you're known by the residents.
Excuse me.
I hope you don't have an issue with the term that you described as the street mayor, right? Yeah, and you don't get that. You don't get that known as the street mayor unless people see you out there talking to them. Having conversations about their concerns and issues that they're experiencing. And so, as a person that seems to be very much part of the community and very visible, what have you heard from the residents one-to-one when you're talking to them about some of their concerns. Now, in particular, if we can, if it's, a topic that comes up quite often, as far as their view of housing and their housing in particular.
Yes. Oh man, I have. Let me mention this first. With the redevelopment of Hall Manor and Hoover homes, I've sat in majority of the meetings. I've sat trying to call the community out and the citizens of Harrisburg to pay attention on what's going on inside of their communities. So I've been doing a lot, but most of the concerns that I hear from the citizens, from those living in our communities, is that again, the lighting is a problem. The trees hanging over the lights. Oh, actually, I can give you an example, a great example. Now, just last week, and this is what I also say is bringing this a connection. We all have to work together some way if we really want to make a change. I contacted Tisha Barber, CSA agent. I understand her relationship with Miss Mariwanda Williams. So I had her contact Miss Mariwanda Williams, and I thank both of them for this. And they reached out to, they did their part. Public Safety Works, and spoke and got contact with Kevin Jackson. And I want to give special thanks to them. I mentioned their name on purpose because they deserve credit. So my neighbor has been complaining to the property owner and things like that over a year. Storm falls down, tree crushes the whole side of the gate, falls over into the lines. So I contacted them. And they came out on a Sunday, the very same day on a Sunday. And then the next day got the problem taken care of. However, that's not always the solution throughout the city of Harrisburg. Throughout the city of Harrisburg, every street, you're going to find somewhere where you got trees hanging over power lines. So this is a part of the concerns as well. Another thing is it always goes back to people are scared. People are scared in their communities. You can have a nice, beautiful community. It can be very much so like you would want to live there. But when they hear those gunshots, everybody wants to go. So safety and security is a major problem throughout the city of Harrisburg. And I do want to take credit. Not saying I am the sound big head or not as far as the South Side, Hall Manor and Hoover homes. I do take credit because being active in our communities with hands-on violence and trying to stop it, the Hall Manor Hoover homes has slowed down tremendously. And now, it seems like the majority of the shootings are taking place right here uptown. So it's like, no matter where it's happening at, it can be beautiful areas, beautiful neighborhoods, like up here, for example. They're being destroyed by the violence that's going on in our communities. People do not want to be here, and they do not want to pay here. You can offer them dollar homes. They do not want your dollar home because it's going to amount to nothing with the violence. Nobody wants to bring their children here.
Mm-hmm. So how do you feel about the suggestion that we have, a lot of cameras in our on our streets?
But the cameras, I agree, and like I said this previously, I agree with high crime areas, cameras, very much so understandable, but I do not believe that the people need to live under a camera every step that they take throughout every move that they make. Because let's not forget that, cameras are also a major part of the problem with child pornography. Let's not forget that cameras are also a problem with, it's been a couple years you haven't heard of anything, but it's still a problem. You have people sneaking cameras and things that just to spy on people. They have no privacy. So I believe that we need to still have trust in our people that we can get it together. Because if we don't even trust our people and we refer everything right back to technology, then it's all for nothing. And it was just a homicide not too long ago, right down here on 4th or 3rd Street. Young brother Amari lost his life. And I went out there and I spoke to the people. And I told the people, it's not about, those cameras can do a lot. Sitting around, those cameras can do a lot. But the walking cameras are the best cameras to have. We're the walking cameras. So it's not about what you can see, it's about what you can say. So I encouraged the people and I told them, you need to speak up. So we have to give our people a chance to like we need to regain back our identity.
I mean, and that's a street code too. That if they do speak up, then they're thinking that they're snitching or something.
The new street code is if you're not empowering the people, and if you're not encouraging anyone else to empower the next person by leading by example and showing them how they can be better, then you're going against the street codes. That's the new street code. So all that telling and snitching, it's not snitching. It's you trying to protect your community and protect the children that's inside of this community, not just the children, but the senior citizens. We need our senior citizens. They don't even want to come out no more. So that's my stance on that.
Okay. That's a very good answer. One thing too, and you may have iterated this. Actually, I'm gonna pivot. So just kind of listen to your responses and with your title as the street mayor.
Yeah.
I see this as an issue where politicians on the campaign trail, they're out here heavy, kissing babies, shaking hands, and once they're in office. With your campaign, if you are elected mayor, how do you propose to still come back and interact with the community?
Oh yeah, that's a very easy question. I've been doing it for nothing for years. I haven't entered the race to gain anything. I've entered the race to gain better for the people. So what the people can know and trust about me, well, you know what? It all goes back to trust. Because I can say a million things. I can give you the best plans in the world. It doesn't amount to anything. But the people trust me. The people chose me. They know that they can trust me. They know that I will always, this is just me. I can't change who I am. I always want to do better for people. And I'm always going to be active in the communities as the next mayor for the city of Harrisburg. I will continue to walk. And but like I said before, I will patrol with officers. I wouldn't mind patrolling with housing officials, like elected officials, no matter what type of official you are elected. I wouldn't mind walking the streets with you. I encourage us all to get out because there's something else going on in Baltimore. And I'm actually supposed to attend one with a brother from Baltimore of mine. You know, where elected officials, churches, doesn't matter what religion you are, get together and walk. And that's something that I want to implement right here in the city. Because I believe that as one and as a unit and standing in solidarity, it's going to show a whole lot. If we can just do that, and I've been saying this for years. I've been saying it for years. We have to stand together as one. Because if we don't, it's not going to do anything. Even when a shooting or anything happens inside of our communities, all we have to do is show up hundreds. We make an impact that's going to shake the world, to shake Harrisburg. So I will always be hands-on inside of our communities. I will always be active in my communities, and I don't have to promise it. The people trust me, and they know that I won't break my word.
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember when people regularly got together and walked, through their communities, and you can still see we participate in Crime Watch.
Yes.
That was back in the day before cell phone video, and video was on the ring doorbells, and so you're a proponent more than relying so much on electronic technology that rather put it back on the community.
Yes.
Be the eyes and ears.
Yes.
Because it worked.
Yes.
In the past, right?
Yes.
So that's kind of the community members taking control of their streets and their neighborhoods.
Yes, absolutely. Because it starts with us. Like we can make up all the excuses in the world, and I blame myself as well for the things that I used to do. I used to be involved in, because a lot of the youth, they came up under the impression that it was the thing to do, and that's not it. So what we need to do is we need to get back out here and show them what the thing to do is. That's like, for example, I have to trust you. If I can't trust you, my neighbor, or not to sound like it's just a racial thing, because it's not. Because we know, honestly, African Americans and Hispanic Americans, we're facing the most difficult times in the world. So, but I do want to say is that as blacks or people of color, like I shouldn't have to question, or anybody in that matter, I'm not going to single anybody out, anybody in that matter, I shouldn't have to question my neighbor to say, oh, are you going to look out and make sure my kid is all right here? We just have to trust each other. We got to build the trust somewhere. So if something's going on outside of my community, I have to trust you. I trust my neighbors now. My neighbors across the street know that something's going on and we can step outside. They know that we need to build that back throughout the city of Harrisburg.
I agree with you. We need that close-knit neighborhood where,
Right.
There was that grandmother of the neighborhood and they could, that she was watching, sitting on the porch.
Yeah.
The kids were safe because knew that, hey, Big Mama's on
We knew it.
So, right.
They good. They out there. They all right. And that's like a major thing. But what it's going to take for that as a mayor? It's going to take for somebody to trust you. The people have to trust you. Nothing's going to work like we want it to if the people don't trust you. I can become, say for example, I'm elected, but I have no trust with the people. They're like, man, I don't. If I come and try to speak with you about an issue that you face in housing, they're going to say, get out of here. I don't trust you. You just like them, not even knowing that I can bring something helpful to them. But they don't trust you, so they're never going to take a look as to what's a benefit by this conversation. But if they trust you, they'll go in blind because they trust and know that you're going to ensure that you're not going to allow anything to happen to them that you wouldn't allow to happen to yourself. So as the next mayor for the city of Harrisburg, this next mayor has to be trusted by the people where everything else is going to fail. I promise it.
A lot of that has to do with follow through.
Yeah.
I saw and I mentioned in one of the other conversations with candidates that I was viewing, I think it was on the news, and it was a discussion that a reporter had with a city resident, and her concern was that there's not enough community input. There's not enough people talking to
That's
the
true.
community and responding to their needs. And so I think that under certain circumstances, there's been a fairly good job with getting community input. Follow through is lacking severely.
Yes.
When you do ask the community to come out and give their opinions or their preferences about any, certain issue or project, it's kind of what happened to it. Went to a black hole. We see nothing happening with that. We don't see our input being implemented, if anything at all is being done. So what are your views about community input and follow through when they do come out and support a project or a cause?
See, I mentioned before previously about regular town hall meetings. Regular, so that not just having the town hall meetings, we can create something to make it accessible, whereas though they're able to follow up on the town hall meeting, seeing what's happening and what's not happening, so that they'll still be able to keep track. But at the same time, it still is going to go back to the trust, because the people got to trust you. In order for you and to follow, like you said about follow up, the people have to trust you to know that you're going to come back. Now, I've sat in meetings and with the current administration, Miss Mayor Wanda Williams, at Harrisburg, Hall Manor Housing Authority. Now, the citizens are, till this day, like the trust that they had from Miss Mayor Wanda Williams, they lost it. And this isn't to shoot her down, because, like I said again, I believe she's a beautiful sister. I just believe that it's time for a change now. What she has done, it can't be taken away. But however, there are some issues that we face now, and this is one of the issues, the follow through. Now, I've sat and I called out all the residents of Hall Manor and Hoover Homes to come to these meetings, and the promises that were made to continue to keep up with things going on inside of the communities hasn't been followed through, and that's a major problem that we face now. And that's something that I'm very much so aware of, because I played a part in it. I was sitting there and I'm the one that called the people out. So not only did it lose their trust, it lost her, I believe, the the second chance to become the next mayor for the city of Harrisburg, because that's a problem that we face, a major problem. But follow through, that's something that I'm known to do.
All right. And I have probably one more question. I don't know if you have any questions, Edward, because we're coming close to the end of our conversation. But I guess my last question is home ownership opportunities in the city of Harrisburg. And I'm going to get kind of specific about our programs. But when they come to Edward's homebuyer education workshop and classes, if they finish, they complete the class, then they are, if they qualify, it's not, most people do qualify, to receive the closing cost assistance. That closing cost assistance, when they're ready to purchase their home, that closing cost assistance comes from Dauphin County. But a lot of persons buy homes in the city, and they're also city residents. We were just looking at the numbers between 2020 and 2024, or maybe 21 through 24, I think. And altogether,
21 and 24, you said? 21
yes,
to 24?
between 21 and 24. There's been
4 or 5, 3, 4 years?
Yeah.
Right, that we have numbers for. And in the city, it's been about $2.5 million in mortgages that class graduates have purchased within the city of Harrisburg over those 4 or 5 years, about 4 years. So my question normally is, if mayor, would you be in favor of reinstituting the down payment assistance for residents who want to purchase a home within the city? We used to do it, it's my understanding, but have not for years.
My question is, what was the success rate when we used to do it? How was it better overall by the people?
We're working on those numbers now.
All right, so I can't make a decision on that. If we can go over and look at the numbers and see if it was like beneficial towards the city and the people, then we can discuss it. If we feel as though if that's the best thing to do, then that's the best thing to do. But if overall, if it doesn't look like that's the best thing to do, then we just cannot bring it back.
Are you in favor of home ownership for the residents of the city who desire to be homeowners?
Yeah, absolutely.
Then what would be the negative impact of offering down payment assistance instead of relying on Dauphin County to do it for us?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think I am.
We'll look into it, but right now, sorry, not sure.
Okay.
What would you do, or can I maybe answer this? What was your plan to make Harrisburg a better place to live? Let's say you get into mayor let's see, even if you become mayor, within your first 4 years of your first term, what would you say from start to finish, what would you like to see that has improved in the city as far as housing, tourism, or whatever? What would be your top 3 things that you would like to change?
Again, like it goes back to, I want to see more lighting inside of our streets, infrastructure, more lighting inside of our streets, and more. Now, as far as our communities, our neighborhoods, I would like to see teams placed in order, where as though we can get outside of these communities, give the people information, and interact with them. That's going to always bring more love inside of our city, and I believe that's a couple ideas right there. And for the lighting, there's quite a few things that I mentioned before. I believe that we need to do, like, it's something that I've been doing for a long time, cleaning up our communities on our own. But I believe that, you know how, for example, like some jobs, workplaces have dress down Friday? Well, why don't we have a bust down clean up Friday? whereas though our employees, CSAs, whatever you want to call it, walk the streets, but we walk the streets together and clean up our neighborhoods, not, with big shout out to Ralph Rodriguez with Hotspots, and as well as myself, I've been doing cleanups for years. I believe that we can also, like I said, new ideas that's more adjustable and adaptable to the people nowadays. So even if we get out there as a community as a whole on certain days, out of a month, 2 times a month, we get out together as a team and clean up our own trash and don't just rely on the city, probably, some parts of the city to take things, but we need to do it together as a team to show that we're still standing together. So I believe that that's a major thing that needs to take place in cleaning up our streets in the city.
Okay. And then one last question, I had this earlier, but it just came back to me. So regardless of how the race happens, win or lose, what would you say you would still like to implement, or who would you like to work with, or how do you want to implement your ideas and bring them to the table to bring them to fruition?
Win or lose, I would like to work with all of those who are really showed by action, not just speaking, not just photo ops. I would like to work with all of those with good heart and good intent who are really trying to do things by the people. Without a doubt in my mind, I wouldn't mind working with Miss Marijuana Williams. I wouldn't mind working with Dan Miller, Louis Butts, whoever I believe is like truly trying to be better for our community. I'm willing to work with anybody.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Well, that concludes my questions.
Well, I thank you so much for attending, having this conversation. It was really insightful. And hopefully the community learned a little bit more about Mr. Cook and his ideas and visions for the city of Harrisburg as mayor, and if you choose him to be mayor, what you can expect. And I always say that housing intersects with a lot of different issues and topics within the community. So not all that we talk about is strictly housing. We talked about safety, we talked about beautification, we talked about collaborative efforts and attracting people to our beautiful city from other communities. So all of it, is related to housing. So we are pleased to be able to present these conversations with the mayoral candidates, and I hope that you found them as interesting and informative as we have here at the Fair Housing Council. So thank you again, Mr. Cook, and best of luck to you.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate y'all for having me.
Thank you. Awesome.